Okay, it says excellent connection, but then it says we dropped 60 frames so far. Like, you can't have it both ways, YouTube. Is it an excellent connection or not? Okay, like, what's going on here? I've dropped more frames than I've sent. I don't... Like, what changed? No, dropping this many frames isn't good. Does that make any difference? 6,000, 3,000, 4,000. Still about 4,000, almost 5,000. 57, 68, 81, 67, and now 28. 76, 48. Dropped frames steadily increasing. Oh, but now we seem to be doing all right. Okay, maybe it was the VPN at fault. Because now we're up to 10,000. All right, we're going to give this another whirl, Mahig. See if it works. Testing, testing. Is this thing on? Testing, testing. Testing, 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 testing. Is this thing on? It's on. I know it's on. Hopefully it's working. Oh, da-da. Let's check this out. Okay, well, this will crash. Hey, Quiet Q. I knew it was going to crash, so that's fine. Hopefully things are working today. It's altogether too soon to say. But they might be. And they might not be. It appears to be a little better on my end. I restarted my router. I restarted the modem. I don't know what else I can possibly restart. So I'm hoping that things function properly now, but you never know. This is like the last hurrah here. The last hurrah. Okay, I think so. The logging camps are good. So, yeah, there's kind of just a bunch of crazy going on out here right now. Can I buy the logging camps? Probably not. Oh yeah, I can. Sweet. I can't place it there. Okay. I don't know why I couldn't place it in those other spots, but I'll shove one each out and let's see what happens. Crashes. Okay, that's not good. Tomorrow is the last day. I'm trying to have mine finished today. I made some big changes that have kind of just been breaking everything, which, you know, it's what I get for doing things like this end of the... Oh, because it's player name. Okay. This is what I get for doing things this close to the end. I've wanted to do this for a minute, though. And... Okay, well, the logging 2 looks correct. Oh, no. See, what is... Did I not paste the new one over that? I must not have. So I'm trying to make the form specs update automatically every second. So if I go to like the farmhouse here, you can see the health in the inventory. I don't think we're going to see the inventory go up because of how it's configured, which is whatever. But if I had... That's right, towers haven't been fixed yet. if I have something that's damaged, I guess the base hasn't been fixed yet either, which is weird because alphabetically, that's the first thing. So how did I not get that fixed? Basically, I want it so the graphs, the bars. Yep. There's so much stuff here that's all wrong now. So I went through and I changed everything. This was a huge mistake. All right, so let me show what I have here. So I created this function, form spec wrapper, which passed the player name, the form spec name, the form spec itself, and the position. And then it would refresh it, and every quarter second, it would resend the form spec to the player with what I thought was going to be the updated values. Unfortunately, it would take the form spec, generate the string from it, and then it just kept sending that same string over and over and over, which does me absolutely no good because that's the same as not changing. So I have to make a wrapper for every single form spec, which is just annoying. So the wrapper is pretty much the same on every single one, but it can't be the same on every single one because they all have small differences. So they're just all being called whatever the form spec's called with the trailing wrapper. So this is base overview, so it's going to be base overview wrapper. And yeah, we're looking at Kobo base here as the form spec name. And then we're calling base overview position, which is just showing this form spec. And this will just every quarter second resend it to the player to update it. We have this little refresh check. So on a right click, assuming you can see the inventory, we are setting refresh to true, so the inventory will keep looping. And then we just have to send the function their way, which actually I can copy the function from here. Can I not? And I'll probably have to change player to player name because that's the variable that I'm using. So we'll change this to player name and then save that and see if this works now. There we go. So now if this was being attacked by goblins, we would see the health bar going down, or if it was being repaired by a repairman, we would see it going up. And then when I click off, it disappears. Now, there was a thing where if you were really quick, you could show... I think I went fast enough changing down to a quarter of a second. Because you could close one, and when you close it, that sets refresh to false. But then if you clicked on another one quickly enough, the true would come through from the old one, and then you'd get two form specs flipping back and forth between each other. And it was it wasn't good. Let's just put it that way. Crash, of course, because the towers have not been updated. But the base is... I don't know how it wasn't earlier because I was doing farms. Logging camp should both be good. Lumber, so this I need to do two of these form spec wrappers again. I'm sure there's a better way of doing this where I could just use one function to do both, but I don't know. What I thought would work didn't work. So here we are. And you're probably wondering, well, how important can this really be? It's not very important, but it's just a nice to have. And so then this should be called form spec tree, or Kobo tree, I believe. Yep. So we have that. So I'm just going to copy this. And we're going to throw this, and we're just going to change this from tree to evergreen. I hate it. I hate everything about it. It seems extremely not good. Just because I'm literally doing the exact same function for everything, but because this is evergreen overview and this is tree overview, and I have no way to pass the value of the function name through this function, it doesn't update the function. It just takes whatever the first value was that the function generated, which I don't even understand. I don't know. I don't understand how that works at all. It doesn't make any sense to me. All I know is it doesn't work the way I would like it to, so this is what it has come to instead. On right click, we are not doing this Kobo form spec wrapper. We're doing tree overview wrapper with a player name and a position. And then we will get rid of this one, which was the old global function, which I had hoped would work so that I wouldn't have to be creating 1,000 different functions to do this. But alas, no, that is not how it works. So this one needs to be evergreen, and the evergreen actually exists in a small and large state. So for both of those, it needs to do this, but it's doing the evergreen for both, so that should be fine. Lumberjacks wouldn't have anything metal. The metal mine does, and there's 2 different metal mines, so I am... See, this is what I mean. There's got to be a better way to do this. There's no way I should have to be writing... And I mean, it's mostly copy and paste, so it's not that big a deal. But there's no way that I should have to be doing this for every single form spec just to make the stinking thing actually update. And you might be thinking, but hey, can't you just... No. Trust me, if I could just, I would have just. Like, the only thing I can think of that would actually work for this would be to make a function and then put a bunch of if-else-if statements in it, or if-then statements rather, and then check for every single form spec name that's being passed, and then pull the correct actual function for that. But some functions get different variables passed to them. It would, pretty much no matter what, it just is a mess. And this just feels like less of a mess to me, because I can pretty much make this do what I need it to do without too much trouble. I was gonna say, where's mine 1? That should come before mine 2. We'll just copy the wrong one, because I don't feel like scrolling all the way up. It's gonna be metal mine 1 and then metal mine 2. Yeah, I know this is really what you were tuning in to watch, because this is fun stuff right here. This is really what everybody wants to see. But you know, it's part of the process, whether you like it or not. It's just kind of a lot of annoying stuff. I really hope this is all being done correctly, because if it's not, that means I have to come back in and fix all these bugs. That also means I have to do a bunch of play testing, pretty much just clicking on every single object and making sure that it's functioning as it should. We'll just copy this. Blah, 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 blah. We're going to take this, pop it in here. This is actually number 1 now. And then we're going to come down here to where we were calling the wrapper for 2. And we're going to paste that, and it's ready for 2, so we're good on that. Oh, what do you know? There's another one that we have to do this for. Will it never end? There's only a few more to go. And then it's testing it all out to make sure it actually works. Yay, I'm so excited. If you can't tell, I'm not so excited to be doing this. I kind of wanted to get some research stuff done, but oh great. See, like this one's getting a variable passed of number 1, which I don't know what that means. Tier. Well, there is only tier 1. Okay, see, that becomes a thing. So then I have to put that in here. See, and this is one of those ones I was talking about where some of the functions get an extra value passed to them. And if they have an extra value passed to them, that means the other function I was using you can't use, because now there's different variables included in the function, and I don't know, there's just doesn't seem to be a great way to do that. So this one I'm going to be sending tier is 1, player is player name, and that's the only storage one there is, so we're good there. Towers, can't wait to be done with all of this copy and pasting. It's gonna be grand. This one only I need the position, so that's nice. Oh, you know what? I just realized I have not been doing in all of these is updating this one string. So that's cool, because that means I have to go back through every single one and check that all those values have been updated appropriately. I don't know why I didn't copy the player name and position. Okay, I can figure that bit out. Player name, position. Okay, well, so now we go back to storage. Yeah, see, this should actually be a form spec called storage. And that's so that the callbacks function. Stone doesn't have any callbacks, so I don't know if that would actually matter. Would it? I guess it would, because you can remove stone. So that might be an important bit to have. Of course, the metal ones are also going to be metal mine, probably. I'm assuming. I'm hoping. Oh, well, yeah, I think they're both still... I don't know. What's my callback? Yep, the callback's just metal mine, so they both use the same. Let me check for stone. I don't think it's Kobo stone. No, in fact, it is stone mine. Good thing I checked that, because that would have... I don't think it actually would have crashed anything. Which, in some cases, is even worse, because then you don't realize that there's a problem. Yeah, and then just nothing works, and you can't figure out why it doesn't work. Okay, so is that called Kobo Tree? It is, and the other one should be called Kobo Evergreen. All right, logging camp. Let me guess, this is probably called farm. It sure is. So this should be logging 2, I'm assuming. But is it actually? It may just be called logging if both are the same. Nope, that is called logging 2, so the first one would be called logging 1. I really wanted to work on some research stuff. This is not farm field, but in fact it is bush. How very creative of me. And this one actually only has one function, even though there's 2 different versions. Farm field I know is going to be right, because... That's the first one that I did for some reason instead of doing the base. Hey, on the base I went through and I named correctly. That's good. So then that was storage. So now we're to towers. Oh, yeah. Oh, wait, no, I just did the towers. Okay, so then we're finally down to walls, which... Thankfully, there's only one wrapper required. Even though there are 4 different wall variants, they all use the exact same form spec. Because they're all technically the same thing. They all have the same amount of health. This is going to be wall _1 though, because at some point there will be other walls. But now we do have to go through all 4 of them and put this in. So this is here. And it's player name, of course. Now, fortunately, I can just copy this and paste it into each of the remaining options. Finally done. Sweet, everything's saved. Let's see how she rolls, boys. Tower, I can see the tower. Okay. Is the health bar going down on the tower? Watch the health bar on the tower. I mean, these goblins are coming towards it, but I can't tell. I can't tell if they're attacking it very good or not. So the next thing, I can hit the repair button, get our little repairman here to come out. And as he makes his way over, the health bar goes up. Very nice. Our metal goes down. Costs 1 metal to restore 5 health to a building. Yay, the form spec is updating properly. Woohoo! And then it doesn't reopen when you close it, which is even better. I just have to go through on every single building now. Every single tree. Uh-oh. Stone's not working. Do I have any baby trees? I don't, and I probably don't have enough. Okay, I got some baby trees planted. Baby evergreens are working. Okay, why is the stone mine not working? Stone mine, what is the deal? That looked like a stone mine _1 overview wrapper. Stone mine _1 overview wrapper. Oh, because it's player name. Which would make me imagine that the version 2 probably is also player and not player name. What a surprise there. I couldn't have seen that one coming. It's almost like I just copied and pasted the two. Hey, there we go. Stone has 250 remaining. Is this also stone? This is stone 2. Stone 2 works. Let's check out this metal. We're having an issue with the metal mine. What's going on with the metal mine? I bet it's being passed player instead of player name. What do you know? It is. Wonder how many other ones are messed up like that too. This is why I'm checking all of this, because it would be a real shame to release a game and have something as important as your inventory not showing. Can I find a metal? Uh-oh. A metal 1 mine? A goblin scout attempts to form arithmetic on field step and nil value. Come on! Really? Why do these stupid goblins keep doing this to me? Well, let's see if it rehappens. It probably will. At some point. Oh, here, we have some sand. Okay, there's way too many goblins just floating around out here. That works. Goblin Scout again? It's the Goblin Scout. Okay, let's see what's going on. In step, line 212. Line 212. What's going on line 212 with the Goblin Scouts? 212. Self-step equals self-step plus 1. So somehow I have a goblin who doesn't have a self-step value saved. Which I don't understand, but that's fine. We can do this. Self-step equals 0. I'll comment that out, but I technically could have just left that in because it'll set self-step to 0 on every single one regardless. Berry bushes seem alright. There does seem to be an issue where, I don't know, it felt like sometimes you'd hit escape and it doesn't close. But I could just be imagining that. Okay. Now we have wait a second. Is this a different goblin? This is a different goblin base. Interesting. So where's my base? Because I'm lost now. Good thing we have the handy dandy base command. Hey, and it even works. Nice. Oh, an empty farm field. Excellent. I need to test this. Okay, beautiful. It says there's 0 inventory, which is correct. Goblin just over here. My poor courier can't figure out how to get from here to there, which is very sad. I don't have enough materials to build a there's something in the way. There's nothing here. Okay, so I need to assuming this should be fixed now. I need to change my invisible nodes and see what's going on. Why is that not being removed? I don't even know what that's under. That should be in nodes. There's so many files here. And it'll nilly-willy open new ones. We'll take away the draw type of air-like. Let's see if we have a node sitting here. Yeah, we have several. Actually, there's a lot. Like all over the place. Like what in the world? What is generating all of these nodes? Okay, so let's place a camp. Okay, that's right. Let's remove the camp. It didn't remove these two. And it also didn't close the form spec. Interesting. Okay, so if you come down to remove, that was a logging camp 1. Logging camp 1. At remove. It's supposed to be closing the form spec. To name logging 1. Logging 1. But I am noticing... No, wait, that should be in the onDestruct callback. After destruct, remove building spaces. Interesting. So the after place node is doing this. So I probably need to copy this into the after destruct. Okay, the after destruct is here. Well, that's really weird because this is tier 1. Interesting. Let's try this. Oh, wait, you know what? I wonder if I just do old node. I bet that's the problem. I don't think I have to do a core git node. I think old node already is a node. All right, well, let's copy this and paste that down into the after destruct here because kind of good to be removing those. And then the after place, we will copy the after place from here, which comes in right after we add in the resources. All right, so then we'll have some more invisible nodes that are unbreakable because they can't be pointed at. That's fun. We will place a logging camp. Okay, and remove. Hey! Oh, remove doesn't set... Oh, I see, I see. Well, that's an issue. I kind of knew about that issue, but I didn't fix it, obviously. So on field remove, we're closing the form spec, but we also need to set Kobo refresh player name to false. Fun, I get to go through and do that to every single file now in the on remove. Great, great. On remove, we want to, I could actually set that like the very first thing, but that should be good enough. Let's exit to menu, load the game back up, and we'll test this one to make sure it works. And it doesn't. What a surprise. Okay. Table index is nil. Table index to what? Like, I have local pathways right here. It exists. Although... Oh, no, yeah, that's all right. And this was just straight up copy and paste it. How is this? Line 316. What's going on in 316? Kobo refresh player name. Oh, because it's player now. Why do I switch between name and player name and player? This is so stupid of me. Okay, so that was in logging 1. So let me check what it is in logging 2, because it's probably also the same. If fields remove, close form spec to name, and we want to set this to name equals false. So much fun. Okay. Placed it, removed it. Excellent. It worked. So now we need to do give me Kobo logging _2. Okay, it does the same thing. That's just so trees don't plant there, so you can have a pathway so the couriers can get to it. Remove, and it removes everything as it should. Nice. Okay, well, so yes, we gotta go back and do all of this for every single one on the remove. Yay! We're closing the form spec. Oh, whoops. That should be in there. Oh no, that is in the remove. Oh, well, you can't remove it, so I guess if you were looking at it and it got broke, it would probably be good to update that, I guess. Okay, farm. If form name remove, we're going to set that to false before we close the form spec, so the form spec doesn't accidentally reopen, because that just looks like a bug then. Which, I mean, let's be real, it would be a bug. But, you know, optimally we don't want bugs, because bugs obviously bad. And that's not how you win game jams, by having bugs. So definitely want to make sure there are none. That's names, so that's good. I'm glad some of these at least use just the same thing for both. Just one callback instead of two. Yes, please. It definitely makes my life a little easier. If fields remove. Sure, we'll just throw it in there. It doesn't matter where. Name, yep, it should exist. Whew. If fields remove, sure, let's just throw it in there. And walls, that means, oh no, because all the walls use the same form spec, so that's good at least. Whew, okay. So if I remove that, why? I didn't I tell it when I remove? Oh, that was the farm field. I bet I missed the farmhouse for remove. Farmhouse. Field. Why is that one way up to the top? I mean, I guess it doesn't make any difference, but yeah, let's put that to false. Also, is farmhouse just one? Yeah, okay, good. All right, so that should be fixed now. Unfortunately, that means I do have to put in a new farmhouse. Oh, but this actually gives me an opportunity to demonstrate this. So we will put a farmhouse in, right? And then we will click on it. And then we can watch the inventory. There we go. Every 5 seconds. Inventory will adjust. It should be adjusting up by 15. Or 17, I guess, because there's 17 surrounding fields. So that works. If we remove it, perfect. Our tower, I'm just going to go ahead and remove that because I have plenty of towers to put out, so that's no big deal there. Farm fields, can I remove this? There we go. Oh, you know what? It was probably... If you're on top of the... And it's so silly that it works like this. If you click on top of the tooltip, it just closes the whole form spec for absolutely no reason. I don't understand it. Give me a farmhouse, please. I would like to have one here. I think this was added before. The goblins, when you kill a rogue goblin, it'll give you some metal. So you can get metal without even harvesting metal, which is, I think, handy. Give me a storage pit, please. I know I don't have the resources. I want to say it's just Kobo storage _1. Yep. Bada boom, bada bing. Oh, Oh, I should have caught that a long time ago. What in the world? Why does that icon not... didn't I copy the icon from the... Interesting. I thought I copied this bit of code directly from the base, but the base's works. Yeah, interesting. Okay, well, goblins will head here first because it's a storage pit, and they want the resources. Oh, cool. Invalid vector. Expect the table got nil. In function remove node. I'm sorry, what? It literally should only be removing itself. Or remove node position. Is position not in existence for this? You know, I guess it's not. Well, good to know, I guess. So let's put that variable in. And, oh, yeah, what? I definitely did not copy this from the other one. Which is weird because I thought I did. I really thought I did. That's not what I wanted. I want to go all the way up to the top here. Courier. Yeah, I could have sworn I just straight up copied and pasted. Well, guess not. Hey, that worked. Tree. I can remove it. Now it's pointing at a baby evergreen tree, which doesn't exist. Okay, so what's going on here now? Evergreen. Form name remove. Yeah, we're not setting the refresh to false because somehow I missed that on this one. So I wonder if I'm not doing that on the berries as well. Is player name? Nope, it's name. Okay, good thing I checked that because that would have been annoying. Everyone must be watching that Jake Paul fight, huh? Oh, I see, because I'm trying to close a form spec that's not open. Yes, yes, that makes so much sense. Everybody's probably in a mad rush trying to finish their game because I successfully wasted their time watching my stream. I mean, it's not wrong. Looks like that's working. Beautiful, beautiful. Drop off my stuff. Okay, so I think that's everything tested. So we're good there. There is a lose screen. So if I remove my... Aw, too bad. You lose. The goal is to not let the goblins destroy your base. Maybe that wasn't made clear in the instructions. If so, my apologies. You survived 811 waves of goblins. Doubtless, you'll do better next time. Doubtless. Of course, I can no longer build a base because you just can't. Oh yeah, I suppose I do need to say give me. Actually, the reason you can't is because that was something that was supposed to be researched, and I didn't get research in. Okay, I'm gonna put the base someplace different this time. There we go. So now we have lumberjacks. Unfortunately, our happy little foragers way over here are probably confused. Like, hey, where am I supposed to be going with this? I don't know where I'm supposed to travel to. I was kind of thinking of putting a flag for the repair node, so you would know when something is going for repair. But I don't really know how I would necessarily go about that. So I just opted not to. Although I do have some time left here, and it really wouldn't cost me anything. And if it doesn't work, I mean, it doesn't work. It's literally, I'm just creating a new thing for that straw type. So let's go ahead and do it. We'll see if this works. I mean, I know Blender will work. There's no issues there. Jake Paul won because he beat up No Man, but he allegedly paid Tyson $20 million, which helped pay Tyson's debt from his careless money spending back then. Yeah, I didn't watch the fight. I don't care. But I did hear something that it wasn't even there wasn't a real winner. It was somehow points based on the number of punches thrown or something, which I don't know anything about wrestling, boxing, whatever this thing was. But in my mind, I'm like, okay, well, I could go in a ring with somebody and throw 1,000 punches and never make contact with any. And somehow then I would be a winner because I threw more punches than they did. I'm sure I'm misunderstanding something, but I was like, okay, so what if you threw more punches? What does that mean? Nothing. But again, I don't know anything about the sport. Other than it's all scripted. I do know that. It's all fake. It's all made up. I don't know what is going on here. I'm just trying to scale this and it doesn't want to scale. There we go. Okay, I don't know what that was all about. No, I want to set these all to 0. Perfect. Okay, and then we're going to go in edit mode. Make this. Oh, I'm not on face select. Boo! We'll just do a 1/16 by 1/16. And then we have to make it too tall. I think that's only 1.5. That's only 1.5. The tower's a little bit taller than that is. And it'll place in the middle. Or no, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. I'm sure it's fine. It's only meant as a visual representation so you can tell where your repairman's going. I don't think that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to delete the faces, not the edges. I was like, wait, what? And there's way too much going on here. I can't see what's what. So let's put that to that mode. Oh, I should make sure. Okay, it is. Good. I was going to say, I should really make sure that Blender's actually showing up. And it is. I also, I suppose, could put my UI scaling back up to 1.25. So that way you can kind of see what's actually happening here. Because it just kind of really big, and I kind of hate it. So I keep it at 1. What's the point of having a big screen with a high pixel resolution if you're then just... What? If you're then just going to make everything display bigger. I may as well went with a lower pixel resolution, bigger screen, you know? Does that make sense to anybody? Am I just crazy? If I have a high resolution screen, that's because I want the high resolution. It's not because I want to look at things bigger. No. I don't need higher resolution to see less things in more space. Anyway, here's our amazing flag. It's going to be super basic. Doesn't need anything. Well, it does need to be a little shorter than that, I think, because that's... Yeah. How does that look on top of the tower, which is the biggest building there is, height-wise anyways? Tower, where you at? I don't even know. There we go. You know what? It works. I mean, admittedly, it would be smack dabbitally do in the middle, which I don't understand how this is not centered up. There we go. Oh, you know what? That's perfect. It's just above the peak. I love it. And I just realized I could have done this differently, but you know what? I kind of actually like the offset, so we're going to leave it that way. UV editing, that should be pretty quick, simple, and painless. We're literally just going to... Oh, I suppose I really do need to do the flag portion, so that works. I don't know. I mean, I could make this inner seam, if I can even click on it. There we go. I can make that a seam. And then these two will cut on, and then we have to cut here and cut there. And I think I have to cut this one and this one as well then. I want it to mark seam, please. Oh, not mark sharp. No, mark seam. Clear sharp. Ah! Mark seam, thank you. Hey, and there we go. I suppose I do need to put a texture on it. I'm thinking just like a red flag. It doesn't need to be anything fancy. Ain't got time for fancy. How big does this need to be? Unfortunately, I think I'm going to have to go to 256. Because I do not believe 128 will be enough because this flagpole is taller than one node. Untitled 03. It's funny that it just... Oh, wait, that's 02. I'll say I just created it with a texture. It should have something. Do I have to re-unwrap? What? I thought I made this... Oh, it is 2 nodes tall. Oh. Oh. That's actually not an issue. I can cheat my way around that one. All I have to do is select the top face to the flag pole and move it. And then, I mean, it won't be connected to the flagpole, but I don't think that's going to matter. And the flag's going to just be a solid color anyway. So, you know what? I'm just going to shove it over in this corner. And I won't even bother doing UV mapping or anything. Or exporting the UV layout. Don't need it. Honestly, I probably didn't even need to make it 256. I could have... It's just going to be solid colors anyways. Is this showing through? No, it's not. Let me... There we go. All right. So we're just going to, on one half of it, go to a gray color. I'll do a rectangle select fill bucket. That feels like it should be enough. Maybe not, I don't know. And then we'll come over here and we'll do some red. Fill bucket that. Red, please. Lights, please. That's not a very good color. Red. Yeah, I wanted the red, please. Thank you very much. And then I need to save this to... Oh, great. I'm going to have to re-browse to the whole... Oh, no, I don't. Okay, good. Whew. I was going to say, I ain't got time for that. And we're just going to call this Kobo Repair Flag. Sounds like a good enough name to me. Export. Let's go ahead. Export our selection here. Selection only. I do not need the materials. I don't think you can actually see any of what I'm doing here because OBS can't figure out sub-windows, I guess. And we will call this also Kobo Repair Flag. Very creative name. Make sure we save that file. Hop over into here. The repair we're going to change to be Repair Flag. Draw type will actually be mesh now. And then the mesh equals Kobo Repair Flag.obj. And then we need a texture as well, which is defined with tiles. Technically, it doesn't need a facer. It's always going to point the exact same direction. It's not a node that you can interact with, so it doesn't need to be pointable or walkable. Param type of light is true because it's a mesh node. All mesh nodes need to have that, or they render incorrectly. Let's see what happens. Summoned a repairman. Okay, why is the flag? What? Huh? I have a feeling that's my fault. I mean, obviously it's my fault. All of it's my fault because I'm the one doing the work. I left it with an offset. That's kind of annoying. I wish it didn't do that sometimes. Like if I'm exporting a single file, can't we just use the file as the location the file should be in? I'm sure there's a way to do it where it would work. Okay, do I have something that actually needs repair? There we go. That's still super high though. Oh, of course! Of course! Because I'm already placing this node 1 high. Okay, well let's... I completely forgot about that. So I can make this way shorter. Whoo! That was That was a bit silly of me. We'll put it at 1 node, which will still make it quite tall. Oh, wait, no, you know what? I need to do this. I need to set this 1 node below ground. You know, and I kind of thought it looked like it was floating on the base when it was placed wrong. You know, it was nodes off. I was like, this kind of looks like it's in the air. That's not really right. There we go. So now if I do it here, there, it's just barely sticking out the top. Unfortunately, the poor repairman's never going to reach that, so that was kind of stupid of me. However, fortunately, if I remove it, it also removes the repair node flag from it, so that's perfect. Slaughter them with your death machine. Yes, please, please. I need some more death machines. I don't have enough. More death machines, please. The ruthless zombies, wow, goblins, keep ruining my farms. Like, dudes, leave my farms alone. Give me Kobo farm. Like, I feel bad having to cheat all the time. Oh, farmhouse. Yes. I feel bad having to cheat all the time, but I'm being forced. Like, the goblins are forcing my hand. Wave 812. Okay, we don't really care about any of that, though. All right, so everything appears to be working. This stuff isn't actually visible because it's all on the debug. I suppose I could make its selection box a little more sane. But I'll actually just copy this one and then the goblin base, which I thought was open over here. Nope, I guess not. Interesting. Yeah, we're just gonna, actually, I'll just copy this one line then. We're just gonna change that over to this, so that way I can actually point to any part of it to select it. Except, what? You mean to tell me that this is different than that? Huh? Did I actually screw that up that badly? If so, that's quite embarrassing. Okay, so my player base is this building right here. And this is the goblin base. And why, yes, in fact, I completely borked that one. And somehow got it opposite of what it should have been. Yeah, let's make a little tweak there so it's the right direction. And then tweak it a little bit that way. Yeah, that's better. And then, of course, I have to set it to 0 and 0 to re-export it. And this is the goblin base, which is also going to make the base out in the field there change a little bit, which I'm not worried about. It doesn't matter. Oh, speaking of the goblins and stuff, that reminds me of a new little bit the goblins do. Hey, their building's facing the opposite direction now, which I don't really care about. But the selection still is completely wrong? Huh? I'm getting more and more confused, but it matches now. How could it be wrong? Oh, because the goblin base has a param type. Well, that shouldn't make any difference, though. Both have a param type 2 of Faster. You would think if they both look the same, they would both be the same. Oh, I see. It would appear as if it should be offset to there. I'll get it right eventually, okay? Give her another shot. The goblins now, after they've discovered your base, do a slightly better job of spawning to your base. Hey, there we go. It is inside of some nodes, but whatever, that's fine. I'm having problems with just too many goblins, though. The goblins should die or otherwise go away at some point. They do too good a job of wandering. And they don't stop. Like, I don't know. He's just wandering. And there's so many goblins right now. I mean, I don't know how many goblins there are. I can't actually tell that. But there's too many. And this poor courier is just out here lost. He's like, I don't know what I'm doing or where I'm going, bro. Please, somebody help me. Please, I need something to do. I'm lost. And this poor courier, I don't even know how he got out here. Bro, I feel bad for you. Why are you not going back to your house? Ah, that's not good. Okay, so I need some way to kill the goblins. They just need to die off. There's too many of them, and they need to cease to exist. But I don't really know how. I can show you real quick what the goblins do here. So the goblin scouts. I need goblin scouts. Where's a goblin scout at? Here we go. So a goblin scout, when he finds a base, player base, he will save to the goblin resource table the nearest base with that position. And then when a goblin is activated, so technically every time a goblin loads in, the first thing he does is looks at the nearest base if it exists, and if it does, sets trajectory towards that and heads on his way. Now, it is still in a state of idle when it's doing that, so it'll head towards it and then look for something else, and usually it looks for something else way too soon. So I should probably set its state to wandering up there, shouldn't I? And that way at least it gets 10 seconds to head towards this. So we're gonna go ahead and do self state equals wandering. So now if we launch this up, we should see a bunch of goblins heading towards our most recent base. I don't know if the goblins have discovered our most recent base, though. I used to have that printing out, but I think I removed that checking code. Let's see, we have one that just bumped into the base here. He's not sending a print readout saying he discovered the base, but he did. He definitely did. So if I exit to the menu now, these guys are all activated, and as you can see, well, maybe not, I don't know. It kind of looked like they were heading towards the base. These ones are. Most of them. But then they go for 10 seconds and they just go back to wandering around. Which is fine, except for the ones way out here that are never going to find my base. Like, these guys are really far out. They're never going to find my base. And they still exist. And they're still eating up CPU cycles. So I need a way to mitigate the number of goblins that are just doing nothing. And I don't really know what the best option is for that. We could do like a count on wandering. So when he wanders, after 10 steps it goes to idle. Or if it hasn't moved far enough, it goes to idle. What does this little thing do? Interesting. I don't want to touch that because I don't know what it means. It would be good if... I don't know what I would save that in, though. I'd have to save it as some kind of a value to something. Because it'll just look for a path to a building or to metal. And if it doesn't find any of those, it just takes a random direction, starts wandering. Which is a problem, because then they just wander for forever. Should they die out at night or something? Can they take damage at night? I mean, technically, I'd want them taking damage during the day, I think. Oh, I really need to get this figured out. Because, you know, I want to have the final upload done tonight. What to do, how do I make it stop wandering after it's wandered for a certain amount of time? I have unactivate. What kind of callbacks do I have available to these guys? When do you get static data? Oh no, that's not callbacks. I need callbacks on them. On activate, on deactivate, on step, on punch, on death, on right click, on attach child, on detach, get static data. Okay, well, none of these really are going to help me at all do anything that I'm trying to do here, so that doesn't really help me so much. I would have to just put it in the on step. Or I could just... Yeah, I really have to. That's my only option. Cool. Well... Oh no, now I'm getting an error that I'm not uploading enough data. Is this fritzing out on me again? No, stop! Upload data! It could also just not be uploading because nothing's happening on the screen. Although my head looks pretty big here, and I feel like that should be enough stuff happening. But... IDK, man. Okay, these Goblin Scouts, you guys need to die. I have collisions. What if I, like, had them... collide into stuff that would do them damage? Wait, does he even do collisions? I don't think this goblin even cares if he bumps into things. No. Interesting. Interesting. I could just do something totally random, like have him die if they bump into fruit bushes. That would make a ton of sense. It wouldn't. Okay, what we're going to have to do is in wandering... We're going to have to just put in like a step of... We're going to have to count the amount of times that it's wandered. Self-step equals self-step plus 1. I mean, but that resets to 0 when we reset this whole thing. So it's going to need a new data, like self.wander underscore count equals 1. Actually, we want it to not equal 1, but it has to equal 1 before it can equal anything else. And then we'll do if self.wander count is greater than 20, because that would be 200 seconds, which is about 3 minutes, 3/3 minutes. Then self.object remove. We're just gonna kill them. If they've wandered for that long and they haven't found anything, sorry, but you're donezo. You should have found a useful thing to do with your life by now, and you haven't. So you are no longer useful to the system, and you will be eliminated. Sorry, goblins, but we don't need you anymore. Does any of this really need to be saved? Probably not, but you know what? I'm going to do it anyways. And if data doesn't exist, which I don't know how it wouldn't, we're going to go ahead and give this a count of 0. Here we're giving it a value of 1. Which actually, I think I can do self-wander count equals self-wander count. Wow, if I could type, or 1. And then I should be able to do self-wander count equals self-wander count plus 1. Whew. Yeah. But wait, no. I actually don't want to do that. I want to put this, because this calls every second. So this needs to actually only call here. Because otherwise, every second when this code is running, it's going to be adding to the wander count, which would then make it last 20 seconds instead of 200. So let's just run around out here. I don't know if these are going to end up putting out tombstones when they die. Also, the rogue goblins that are spawning out on these, you're going to need the same treatment, okay? It's coming. It's coming. Don't worry. It's going to happen. Because I can't just have goblins just wandering the map. It's not good. I don't know if anything's happening with any of that data I just threw at this. Maybe I should have thrown some print debug in here. removing goblin due to uselessness to society. There we go. Sounds totally not like a communist thing to say. All right, and then get the terminal up so I can see my debug output. And then just carry on with business as usual. I really should have set that to a much lower value than 20 for debugging. But, you know, I think these guys might be stuck. He's traveling, but I think he's actually stuck. His health's 13. Well, you know what? I don't like you sitting here in my bushes and trees. So you're going, oh, there's multiples of them. Okay, great. Oh, there's another one? Whoo, how many goblins are all stuck in the exact same spot? Bro, how many of you are there? You got 20 health. I mean, because I can see the tombstone from one. There we go. What about you, bud? How did you even get in there? It must have been a small tree that grew into a big tree when he was inside of it. That's sad, bro. That's sad. I mean, just spawned in one goblin. That's fine. Well, one's dead. There's still another one here. I've got a lumberjack that seems to be stuck. Lumberjack, bro, can you not pathfind your way to right here? Like, hello? Hello? It's literally just like this, bro. Okay, well, the pathfinding, or the debug thing on the taking too long. I'm changing it. Oh, cool. Attempt to index local B a nil value in function distance. What? I'm sorry, huh? Goblin Scouts, line 72. Well, I happen to be looking at the Goblin Scouts right now, so what are we doing on line 72? Isn't on the step. Okay, well, so that doesn't really help me. No, it's in line 228, actually. In the function that starts in line 72. 228, if vector distance, self-last job, self-position, self-object, get position is less than 25, then the state is idle. Do you not have your last job stored, Goblin? Like, that is data I'm storing, is it not? Self-last job, data last job. Data last job, self-last job. You should be storing this. Have you not had a job? I mean, I guess if you haven't had a job, I'll just... So I guess I would just do if self-last job, then we're going to call this, and then we'll do this. Because I have too many goblins anyways, so we'll just remove it if he doesn't have a previous job. You can't store what you did before you did what you're doing? Well, society has no need of you. Goodbye. Oh, come on, now what's wrong? Attempt to index local B in the same place. I'm sorry, but what's... Like, obviously it has its own position. It has to. Right? I mean, you couldn't have a... Could you? It's getting its own position, so I don't understand how it could not have a position. Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. But okay. And then we're going to do self-last job. Yeah, let's try to dump these values and see if we can get something. Shutting down. Okay. Well, we do get a useful print out here. Removing goblin due to uselessness to society. Excellent. Okay. Then self-position, self-object, get position is nil. No, wait. Huh? I'm confused now. I have one value that's a nil, but then I have a value that's a value. Which, the way I'm seeing this, is this code's executing. Then we're dumping the self position, but it doesn't have a position? Self.object get position. Self.object get position is the exact same as this code here. So how does self-position not exist? Does the object not exist? How could the object not exist? That doesn't make sense. I don't have time for this to be breaking. Self-position. If you're wondering, you can't not have a position, Goblin. Like, come on. It is literally the exact same thing. How do you not have a position? It prints this, removing Goblin due to uselessness to society. Then I get a nil, which would be this, dump self-position. And then I get a value of last job, which does exist somehow, but its current position doesn't exist. Oh, I see. Yes. Okay. This makes sense, actually. So if wandering count is greater than 2, we remove the object and we end. But we're still doing things. The object doesn't exist anymore. So these things can't be done. Which I think I should be able to just straight up bump this. If last job, we're doing all this, setting the self state to idle. If it has a job, we're doing that. I can't really do an else if last job because, well, I can do another just if though, can't I? If else, which is going to an object remove. If self-wonder count is greater than 2. I think that should work. We'll see if it crashes. Okay, I'm getting a lot of printouts. I'm seeing removing goblins due to uselessness to society. They are putting out tombstones. Okay, well that's fine. Tombstones will disappear after 30 seconds anyways. You're coming next, rogues. You are coming next. I can't have all these goblins floating around out here. It's kind of bad because they're like, well, how did you get way out here, courier? Like, dude, bro, what? And you have food too? Why are you not going back to the base? Oh, check out these miners. They discovered some stone way out here. I think they're both also lost. They're traveling, but either there's invisible nodes or they just can't figure out where in the world the closest base is, which is kind of unfortunate. There's a random wall sitting out here. Okay, that makes sense. I needed those. All right, well, this is working now, so that's good. We're going to put that back up to 20 because I don't actually need them dying that quickly. So then we're going to grab this. Where's the goblin rogues? Set that off on the side so we can just compare the two. I don't know why this one changed from the goblin scouts that I was just looking at to a completely different, and I think it closed goblin scouts too. Adam, why do you do this? How does any of this make any sense? I don't understand. Why do you sometimes open an extra file? Sometimes you close the existing file. Never know which tab it's going to open. You think it would just do one and just stick with that. But I guess that would make too much sense. Or it was just too much work to implement. That's probably what it actually was. That's how all my code is. Yeah, that was too much work to implement correctly, so it's just kind of jank. But, you know, it's all right. Okay, so then we just go down to the wandering bits. And the wandering bits. Okay, and then we just add in this little bit here. If you're wandering, we're going to add your wandering count in. And then if we do this, we add in that count. Self-position, I can get rid of the print statements. I don't actually need those at this point anymore. And then we'll just put this underneath. Oh, I didn't even have a self-object remove in this one in this one. Okay, so that's if the vector distance is that. Yep. So we're going to go ahead. If self-wander count is greater than 20, we're going to remove the object. It should work. That should work. Let me actually put it back down to 2 for testing. Let's see how these rogue goblins fare out here. Hey, bud, I know you're wandering. Are you going to wander for 20 seconds and then turn to a tombstone? Or are you going to crash? Because that would be pretty sad. Hey, tombstone. Tombstone. Where's my base? Where is my base? I'm seeing a lot of tombstones. I'm not seeing a lot of base, though. Wrong button. Oh, there it is. I see it. Way off in the distance. And a bunch more tombstones sitting around out here. All right. Tombstones closer to home. Okay, so all of these guys... Oh, no, there's still some chilling out here. That's fine. If they ever make it towards my base, they'll die. Put that back up. That should have cleaned out most of our goblin problems. The only thing left to do now... changelog, of course. And then... final upload, I guess. So let's see. What did I did a ton of changes. Building form specs. Now, update while viewing them, I guess is probably the best way of putting that. Repairing. Repair flag is now visible. We'll just call it that. Repair flag is now visible. Goblins will head towards the nearest, which actually isn't true, discovered player base upon spawning, which also isn't entirely true. It's upon activation. And it doesn't actually check for the nearest, it's just whatever the last one was that was discovered. And actually, I don't even think it's... Ooh, it might actually be broken. So when a goblin scout finds a base... Okay, he adds this nearest base position. Doesn't check if that already exists, though. So just every time a scout finds one and sends the position... Okay, that's fine. And then the goblins, when they activate, which mainly should be on spawning, will head towards the nearest base. And otherwise, it'll just go in a random direction. I was wandering. And then after it wanders, it'll look for mines and stuff. Okay, that works. Rogue goblins don't, because they're rogue. They don't claim affiliation to any party. They're just kind of free units. They do whatever they want. Although they'll go back to a base and sacrifice themselves for supplies to the base, which the normal goblins won't. But I don't think either of them actually do that anymore because they wander and then they just die. But whatever, I'm not worried about it. It's making things better for the goblins if they do go back. And of course, we don't want that because that makes it harder for us. I did like a cajillion. I mean, every single file's been touched practically. Tweaks to goblins. So we'll just say, we'll say they die. So they die after wandering for 200 seconds. There's nothing that resets that value either, which there probably should be. But I don't know what that would entail. So I guess all I would have to do is, it would actually be super easy. I would just do self-wander count equals 0. And we would put that in working, I guess. If it found something, I mean, more power to you, right? Found something to do, went and did it. He gets another 200-second loan on life. And then if doesn't find anything else, well, sorry, bud, you're kind of not useful to society anymore. Good old goblins. What a fantastic society they run. I think that's it. I suppose I should put this into yesterday's. Instead of saying you, I should say player. Can no longer build additional bases because that made it too hard for the game to work. So I just removed it. Basically because of the... Oh, there's a losing screen now. Did I have that in yesterday's changelog? I thought I did, but I guess not. All right, well, I will defeat screen added with... No, that's all we need to say. Okay, that should do for all of the changes. This is gonna be it. Whew. Fingers crossed, knees crossed, eyes crossed. This is the last hurrah. I will head out now, I suppose. I'm just gonna let this run for, I don't know, 20-30 minutes, just unsupervised. See what it do. Let me throw a logging camp in here if I can. Come on, there we go. I can put a logging camp in there, excellent. The logging camp says there's 5 trees available to chop. That's nice. Let me plant a couple trees. Sweet. All right, they'll do their thing. This poor courier is still stuck over here. I don't understand how he can't figure out. Pathfinding definitely needs work, okay? But I don't know enough about it to figure out how to make it work. I think what I need to do is check the node that the unit is standing in, because currently it goes one node above itself to make sure it's in air. I should check if the node it's standing in is a walkable node, and then not do that so it would pathfind from the ground, because then I feel like this would work. And right now it's pathfinding above the log cabin here, the farmhouse, whatever. So it's probably trying to just walk over the farmhouse and then down and over. And it can't because there's a building there and it can't step. Unless I pull an all-nighter, that's not happening. Oh, hey, we have a goblin. He's coming in. And he's going away. Silly goblin. Didn't get close enough, huh? Okay, well, that could be an issue. Let me make a quick change. Let me let him wander a little bit longer. 10 seconds may not be long enough of wandering. So let's go up to... Self-step's greater than 20 seconds. 20 seconds just feels like so long to just go in one direction. But if they're initially heading towards the base, they might need a little extra time to reach it. So we'll go ahead and do this. He went a little bit towards and was like, nah, I'm good. Thanks, fam. And walked away. -11 lumber. I don't even know how that's happening. It shouldn't. Goblin base. So they do this thing when they... Oh, yeah. So I never got to cover this, the day, because internet was being goofy. So the goblins are currently doing this bit of math where they look at the amount of resources they have. So a goblin takes 25 food and 5 lumber. And we can tell looking here we have 38,633 food and -11 lumber. So we divide both of these numbers by their respective quantities required per goblin. So food divided by 25 and lumber divided by 5. And that's essentially telling us how many goblins worth of food we have and how many goblins worth of lumber we have. Then we check which value is greater, and we take whichever value is smaller, and we spawn that number of goblins. Because if we only have -11 lumber, that means we can't spawn any. And -11 divided by 5 should be a negative number. So we have spawn count equals 1. We change the spawn count to equal whatever our answers are from these, but then we do a math max and a math floor to the spawn count and the number 1. So if we have a negative value, 1 should be the one that's being used. Math floor just gets rid of a decimal point so that we're doing a full value instead of a decimal value, of course. And then we're spawning in that number of goblins, which I guess I don't really need to say there. And then for I equals 1 to the spawn count. So if it's 4, it'll run this code 4 times. And it'll set them to a state of idle, which really shouldn't, because they're actually doing a valid state of wonder immediately, but whatever. I'm not going to change that now because I don't know what that's going to do. Okay, we have a buttload of goblins that just came out. 35 goblins, which is really curious to me because now we have positive 14 lumber. Something is wrong with that, and I'm not sure what. Let me increase the day value, the time value here. So they kind of came off in the right direction, but not all of them, because these guys have no idea where they're going. Like, I'm sorry, bro, that's not exactly towards my camp, which I'm fine with, but that's not exactly how you're supposed to be functioning. So, I don't know. But we are going to wrap things up here. Yeah, and then I wouldn't imagine I would be streaming tomorrow because I'm finishing today. Fingers crossed. Yeah. I'd say wish me luck, but that would be wishing yourself unluck. Poorly? I don't know. Oh, yeah. Well, that's going to do it. I'm just going to let this run, but you don't want to watch it run. If you want, you can download it from Not a Bug. It's linked in the description. I will go ahead and push these changes right away as well, so you can get the latest. I hesitate to say and greatest because that implies it's great. And while I'm not one to, trash talk my own stuff, also, it definitely could be better. I'm just going to say, is this the last hurrah? How do you spell hurrah? Hurrah? That looks like hooray. Hurrah with an H? I don't know how to spell hurrah. How do you spell hurrah? H-O-O-R-A-Y? That looks like hooray. East expression. Yeah, that's hip hip hooray. I don't want hooray, I want hurrah. Is this the... Oh, let me just try it that way. Well, Google's not... there we go. It's with a U. Okay. Good thing we got Google to tell me how to spell words, because I didn't know how to spell hurrah. And pushing... Just waiting to put in a password. And a username. Username first, obviously. Just gotta find it in the password manager. Bada boom. Bada bing. There we go. It's pushed. If you are interested, I got it. Thanks to Google, I figured it out. It's not a word I write often, so that's my excuse. Well, anyways, changes have been pushed. If you want to give it a whirl and then not tell me about any of the bugs until after the fact, because that just ruins your own chances of winning. Totally get it. No hard feelings. I would do the same. I don't know if I would. I probably would. Let's be honest here. I probably would. I'd wait till after the fact and be like, oh, hey, by the way, here's 27 bugs that I knew about beforehand, but I didn't tell you because I wanted to win. Great sportsmanship on my part. I'm a very good loser. Meaning that I don't lose... Wait, I don't know what I mean. Who cares? Doesn't matter. All right, thanks for watching, and see you soon with Game Jam video things. Game Jam review videos or whatever. I don't know. They'll happen. You'll see them. They'll be what they are, Same thing as every year.